Okay, that was stupid. Okay, that's gonna be on there forever. Okay, we are live, children. I'm late as usual. I don't think anybody's gonna be here at the moment that I'm doing the live thing, so we won't wait this time. But let me just say that Mariah on The Voice is like basically taking over my life right now. I'm very excited about that. Her album is coming out on the 16th, which I'm also excited about. I just love Mariah, you guys. I can't explain it. Actually, I could, but we don't have time. We don't have the time. Okay, so today's live stream is called Much Ado About Maya. And when I created this, I was like super mega in my feelings because I had just gotten this review. Actually, I had gotten two in a row, two bad ones, I guess, considered bad. Two bad ones in a row. And I was like spiraling. And then maybe like a week later, I got like two good ones. And then I was not spiraling anymore. So that made me think that maybe I was just like in a panic over those reviews. But, and then I was, after I made it, I started really thinking about some stuff. And I was like, you know what? It's not that big a deal. But it's still a conversation I do want to have because we'll get into it. Okay. Because I made myself a little sheet of notes here. So some of y'all are going to be like, what are you even talking about? And then some of you are going to be like, yes, can we please discuss like what you were thinking when you made this character? And then some of you were like, I haven't read the book, so there's not really going to be any spoilers, not in the traditional sense, I don't think. But basically, if you look at the reviews, if you were one buying a book and you were to look at the reviews, you would probably be a little frightened to subject yourself to this book. And half of me is a little bit horrified by that because even though I knew I was taking a chance, obviously, with this portrayal of this person, you never are ready for people to just be like, I hate this character. Which no one's really done that, but they have said, I get a lot of, I can't stand Maya. I can't stand Maya. Who's literally like the main person that you're supposed to be rooting for and looking through their eyes. So that's a little alarming. But then on the other side, part of me is secretly a little gleeful and kind of mischievously happy because I am just, I don't know, the author part of me is really tickled and intrigued that I can just like make people feel these feelings from a book where basically only good things happen. Like nothing bad happens. Like the worst thing that happens is that people get mad at each other for like 5 minutes. And so to get these like, Hunger Games level feelings out of people is great. So I'm just like, part of me is like, oh my gosh, am I like tanking the whole thing with this character? Like, what am I doing wrong? And then part of me is like, this is hilarious and great. And like the conversations that it's just like, it's like a conversation starter to me. It's like, y'all need to talk. Like, look at all of this is the stuff that's coming out Like, y'all need to go through the luggage because y'all are just in your feelings about this person. So the first, wait, let me just make sure I'm discussing this in the right order here. So, okay. So I kind of already did that. Okay. Well, so basically, if you haven't read the books, I'm sorry, you're just not going to know what I'm talking about. But um, basically, the best case scenario, well, let's start with the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario when it comes to reviews is just Maya is horrible and there's nothing. One of the people was like, I hate Maya and there's nothing you can do to make me like her. It's like, okay. Noted. And then, yeah, and then you got some people who are just like, why would you make a character like this? That's so like unlikable. And they just feel, I guess they feel a little cheated. They feel like this Black woman is being portrayed unfavorably. And they're just like, we didn't need it. Why did you do that? Which I can understand. And I knew that was going to happen, just like I knew with Amara, her whole situation. I knew that people were going to be salty about the selling aspect of it because, and the guy being white and all that. But I was like, because it's a story, like not like relax, it's just a story, but like it's just funny to me that people think they would really sit and read a story without any conflict or tension, and just like, you could have just made it where the guy liked her for who she was, and then they all like, oh, you mean your 3-chapter book that you're not going to finish because it's boring? Like, whatever. Not to say that I needed to do it the way I did. I felt like I did. I felt like it was the only feasible thing that those characters would actually do. And I feel like, I don't know, to me, it's like real life. To me, it's like, let's keep it all the way real right now. If a billionaire was like interested in you, like, and you had no reason to meet again after that day, like, you're just going to start pulling things out of the hat. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. This thing is already off the rails. It's just, that's the only thing she would have done. She was just on this high at this party. She just figured out, she's like, I don't know what I'm good at, but I'm good at something that has to do with this. How can I parlay this into something? And she goes, oh, it's a great idea. It's not like it's like people would rather read about, the girl who, all the external circumstances forcing her to just like, oh, my mom is dying of leukemia and my sister needs to get out of jail and my cat has the measles, like, and then the guy's like, you have to do this or I'm going to, tell the world that you are a drug addict when it's really her dad, and she's trying to cover for her dad and make her dad not look like a joke. So she has to, prostitute herself. But we all understand that, right? Like, these kinds of things, it's like, why? You could just use like regular human motivations. Like, why are you pushing these characters? Like, and I get that it's like so that you won't hate the people that you're reading about, but I don't know, I want to push that. I mean, I don't think y'all are like children. Like, she made a transaction. She took charge of her own situation and she made an action. And then the second book, I mean, Maya's whole thing, because if we're reading in the order of it, Maya in the first book is with y'all. She's like, that is horrible. Not with y'all. Most of y'all like the book. And here's what happens. Let me just explain what happens. So Maya's like, you're selling your body. Like, she's like, what? she is with the people that leave me 1-star reviews. She's like, this is horrible. So I had, for the continuity of the character, and I was really kind of excited about doing this. I was like, okay, so Maya hates this whole thing. Like, she's not going to come to the wedding like, congratulations, now I'm all for it. Like, she's going to be like, am I in a freaking parallel universe? Like, am I the one? And I love that. Sorry, but I just thought that was so much fun to do. And because she doesn't really have any other reason to be around them other than they're all Amar's friends. She can't leave, that she's there. Dale's there. They're stuck to there. I was like, okay, so I can really push this this whole friends to enemies dynamic, which it really is not even that, but it's just misunderstandings that just get like, they just start to get blown out of proportion. But it's like, because they're in a closed space, I could really push that because they couldn't, they had to interact. So yeah, it's like you got to understand, if you're writing a romance, it's not the same like conflict resolution thing. You got to figure out how to keep these people apart for an entire book if they're supposed to be like soulmates. That's your job, is like, how do I keep these people from not getting together? And a lot of times it's, separated at birth, a fire, blah, 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 like all of these things. And I'm trying to use just, regular real life things. Because I mean, that stuff happens. I'm trying to use, gossip and, wrong assumptions and conversations you overhear and stuff like that. I mean, I'm just trying to ground it in something that is real, even in a overblown sort of fantasy setting. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so the people, but what ended up happening, like that was my whole idea of how I was going to do it was, I know that the Amara thing with the white guy and the prostitution was going to like stretch some people. I figured that. But then it was going to be like, okay, well, with the second book, I'm going to acknowledge that through Maya and just have her say all the things that you were probably sitting there saying while you were reading this book, like, oh my gosh, really? And then, so there would be like this catharsis through her character, and just have her like advocate for that fan that was just like, she just sold her body. Like, what are we doing? And plus, I just like the idea of like this sort of fairy tale setting, having like a realist in the fairy tale setting. It's like, the best friend that's at Snow White's like actual wedding. Like, okay, wait, so let me just, you were sleeping and he came and did what now? And what's the dwarves about? Like, just Maya being like, I'm gonna reserve my whatever until I see, I need to see some evidence that this isn't just a hot mess. So I just like that. I think that's funny and great. But what I did not plan on was that the people who liked the first book didn't see really much of a problem with the plot. It's just like, it's fun, it's fantasy, it's whatever. Most people either understood what she was doing, or they just are just devouring the book and they don't care, like, the moral implications necessarily, or they see, whatever. It's the same thing with me. It's like, I'm not necessarily advocating for the whatever. I mean, and we all love Pretty Woman. It's like a classic. It's just, she had actual real challenges that came along with her being a prostitute. And that's why the movie is great. If they just ignored all that and was just like, oh no, she's beautiful and great, and never mind that she sells herself for money. No, it was all about like her trying to fit into his world and that it not working because of reality. And so that's kind of, I did the same thing sort of, where she realizes that, okay, maybe this decision is like, maybe I was a little naive for this decision. So, it's not like I just completely abandoned morality or whatever. Anyways, so most of the people that like that book did not, they just loved it for what it was. So then when they went on to the second book, they were like, what's Maya's deal? Like they didn't understand her part of it. And the people that had the real problem and were real sticks in the mud about the first book didn't finish the first book. So they just stopped reading. So I'm just pissing off the people that like the first book. I don't know, it's funny to me. Oh, so I was like, oh crap. And then there's like the people in the middle who get what I'm doing the whole time. And God bless all of you. But like, the 5-star people, God bless you. And that's the only thing that's really keeping me sane. Because honestly, like I said, like I was spiraling when I got those 2 reviews. And then I was like, okay, I'm doing a live stream. I want people to tell me, like, what am I doing wrong with this character? Because like when I initially released it, it was like backlash. I was like, oh my God. So I went back and I like tried to soften it, fix it however I could. And like, I've looked at it so much. Oh my God, I can't stand to even look at it anymore, but I was thinking about going back to it and putting like some little things in it that I feel like I whatever. But I was like, if I look at that manuscript again, I'm just going to like flail around on the floor. Like that wedding scene where they're dancing, like, oh my God. Oh my God. I like redid that thing so much. Oh my God. I like, whatever. I was trying to get the tension right. Like I got to get, it was like so flat when I would read it. It was just like not sexy or anything. It's like, okay. Anyways, I'm spiraling again. Okay. So what am I talking about? Okay. The fact that I'm pissing off everybody with mine. So yeah, let me just, oh yeah. And the other reason why I did it was because Dale, like, I don't think I don't know how to get across. Like, I don't know what else I need to do to get across the fact that Dale is like the freaking man. Like that, I just wanted Dale to have his book, man. And a lot of people felt like he didn't, the relationship didn't get as much play as it should have or whatever, which I can understand. But I was also trying to continue the Amara Grayson story as well, because when I was writing it, because I finished one right after the next, and I felt like I wasn't really done with them. Like I wanted to keep reading about them too. So I figured, well, if I feel like that, then people are going to feel like that. So I kind of like the dynamics of it, but like I just love Dale. Like he's almost my favorite. It just depends on the day. But he's like, y'all, you can't sleep on Dale. Like, just don't do it. Like I really tried to convey that, and people, I don't know if people got that or not, but like just the fact that like she thinks in the beginning like he's not checking for her at all, because he makes this whole like comment about her being a ballet teacher for his family, whatever. I won't say what he says, but she just thinks he's just like she's not there at all. Like she literally is not there for the majority of the book, thinking that they could actually be in a relationship, or that he even has any interest in her at all. And like literally as soon as she leaves the room, like him and Grayson are like, so when is that going to happen? And Dale's like, it's not happening. And Grayson's like, okay. Like, I just love that. Oh my God. Grayson's like, yeah, right. Like, Grayson is not worried at all about this situation that y'all are worried about. Like, they're like, oh, Maya's so rude. Maya's so rude. It's like, nobody's worried about that. You think Dale can't smash a rude bitch? Sorry, that was terrible. Don't just cut this. Let's edit that. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, rude, not rude. Like, he's smashing every time. Every time. He's a billionaire and he's been doing it for a while. He's like been a billionaire for like 10 years. Like, it's not a problem. There's no problems. And they're like young. Like, I tried to convey that as much as I could without just coming out and saying like, hey guys, like, it's okay. These people are not, they're not a challenge at all. Like, so he gets it. Like, he sees the youth on her. So he's not like, to him, she's just like a bratty, like, you know, kid who's just like having a fit in the corner. He's not like super just put off by her. So, but for some reason, I feel like, I don't know, everybody that's leaving the bad reviews are like totally triggered by her behavior, which part of me is a little like, really, y'all? Like, how many books have I read where it's just like the girl's going on a whole tirade to the guy and like, you are an ingrate and I will never, like, they're just going on and on with these monologues about how, like, I mean, Pride and Prejudice, which is my jam. It's my jam. And, you know, she's like, I was about to do the film version. Sorry, guys, I haven't read the book. I know that's like blasphemous, but I'm ADD like that sometimes. But I love the movie. But anyway, like, she went on to this whole thing of like, he was the last man on earth she would ever be prevailed upon to marry. So, but you know, that's not, how rude was that? Which is bringing me to the racial component, dun, 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 which I'm not going to harp on too much, but I'm not going to act like that wasn't in my mind when I was writing it. Oh, crap. I'm going to have to plug my laptop in pretty soon. Yeah, so I definitely wanted to portray a Black woman in the setting, because like I said before, the way the setting is like, you've got this girl who is not down with this union for reasons that, you know, she's trying to protect her best friend, but she's also in her own feelings about, you know, other stuff. She's more on the reserved end, and she is being thrown in a situation where she's with people that she would never associate with. She doesn't know, she's just whatever. And so, you know, I wanted to be like, okay, this is how she would act. Like, this is, she's not going to be impressed with your whatever. This is how she's going to act. And yeah, I think I had a lot of people, a lot of Black women who were like, we have enough of these portrayals, which I agree with. I mean, it gets done to death, but I only don't like that when there's no depth. It's just being used for the sake of someone else's story arc. But, you know, like, if Shanae had her own story arc, I bet it'd be freaking awesome and brilliant and could be written well. Like, but that never happens. They're just like the next door, whatever, comedic relief, and then we all clap about it. But not to say that Maya's even remotely close to that. But it's like, literally, if you are anywhere on the spectrum, you're just an angry Black woman. Like, you're already black and you're already a woman, so you're like 2/3 of the way there. All you got to do is just be having an off day, or get stuck in traffic and just be done with society on any, everything converges, and like society becomes annoying, and you just like, have a moment, and you just like, you're not, if you do that, then you're just one of those, and you get put into that camp. So Maya's not happy about the situation. She's not going to smile about it just because you want her to. Now she's angry. Now she's completely just not right. And just, now you're just having to trudge through this book of this story of this person that you hate. Which, I'm not going to force anybody to do that and be like, no, you must read about her perspective. But I just found it interesting. Like I figured I was going to get something like that, but it's just really funny to see people just be like, you should have made her like this, or just to see people's reactions to it. Like, I don't know, I'm just sort of like going round and round right now talking. But I'll admit that there's maybe some things that I wasn't able to get across well enough yet. And, that was book number 2. And I might go back and fix it. But honestly, like, if I just need to take an L on it, I will, because I did my freaking best. But, like, I hope no one is hoping that they'll never see a character like that again, because I hate to break it to you, but I'm going to be delving into this character a lot, this Maya-like character a lot, because I think she is important. And this is a character that I have grown up seeing in my life, and I have a little bit of her. Like, that was another funny thing, because a lot of the things that people didn't like about Maya were literally like my direct personality traits. I was like, go. Maybe I am just petty and I just don't even know. But just like the conflicts between her and Amara, like, those are based on real conflicts between, the transition between friendships, when people get boyfriends and married, and you're still just like, it was like, it used to be like, hey, come over, it's 11 o'clock at night, let's just go get nachos and whatever. And now it's, Amara has a baby, she's got a husband, she's got a job, she just doesn't have time. And, when you call each other, it's like, let me tell you about all the awesome stuff I did. And you're like, yeah, well, I reheated my dinner, and then it's just like, those are real transitions. And like, Amar's happened so fast. It was like that the friendship didn't have a chance to really catch up. So even if there was some stuff that happened before all of that, it's all just getting piled on top of each other. And so they're trying to deal with that. And it's like, it came out in an inopportune time. Like, all of this stuff, I'm just like, yeah, like, life. But yeah, a lot of people weren't with me on that. They weren't with me on that. And that's fine to not be with me on that. But yeah, they just thought it was awful. The combination of her at the wedding just being Sourpuss McGee, which I kind of get, but I also tried really hard to justify that, because honestly, and this is like what really kind of like upset me, is like, people didn't seem to see, like, Maya is like, gets put through like the ringer emotionally, like, through this book. Like, she is just going through it. Like, she's already feeling hinky about this thing that everything is like, oh, flowers and destination wedding and blah, let's be happy. And she's just like, I hope he's not planning. I hope this isn't like a Bluebeard moment where he's just planning to murder you or whatever. But okay, like, I'm gonna, do my best, but I'm not gonna lie. And then she's got Dale who's just white and he's just saying white things and she's just like, oh my God, like, and she's like trying to lose her virginity. And then she's like, but that whole thing is weird because she just, you know, it just never works. And so she's just feeling really like unsure or just insecure about that. Like, and like all of this virginity stuff, I know y'all hate it. Like, I know you're like over the trope. I get it. But I was like a professional virgin for like most of my life. Like, I was a virgin until I was like 29. So this is they say write about what you know. So that's what I know. So sorry, but for my first book, it was going to be, I wasn't going to do anything that was out of my comfort zone. And that was like so deep in my comfort zone that it was stupid. And, and I kind of like it, I was surprised when I first started reading romance that so many people were writing that. Like, I saw it in one book. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Virginity. Wow, that's what we're doing. Then I kept seeing it and seeing it and seeing it. I was like, oh my gosh, people are reading this. This has got to be like pissing everyone off. And it was. So, but I didn't know that until I was like way deep into it. But I was like, they like virgins. They're going to love me because let me tell you. So I don't know if you just know about being like a long in the tooth virgin, but it's a weird mix of like being a competent adult in society and then just being completely like a toddler in this one area of your life. And so, and then it just keeps, the older you get, it just keeps getting more and more foreign to you. So it's like she's this top of her game professional in this one arena, and then when it comes to sex, she's just like she just doesn't know what to do. So, and doesn't even know signals and signs. Like, so I put all of that in there, but I don't think anyone got what the hell I was doing, and that's fine. Go back and read it if you want to. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm looking for this review that was horrible, but it kind of like sparked this whole thing because it was interesting. And I mean, most of the reviews I get are really in depth and interesting. But anyway, let me make sure that I'm done with all my topics. I can't believe I've been talking for 30 minutes. That's insane. So yeah, she's just, she can't be any more fish out of water anyway. She's her immediate thing with Dale is like, okay, Dale is not checking for me, and then he basically confirms it with the comment that he makes, which he doesn't realize what he has said, which is pretty common, and she's just going off of any information. She's just like, okay, yeah, he's out of the picture. So even when he flirts with her, she's not going to do anything to make herself look ridiculous. So she's, hence the title, Maya's Pride. She's like, I'm not going to do anything that makes me look ridiculous. So even when he starts like looking like flirting with her and like seeming like he's pursuing her, she's just like, okay, I know what you said earlier, and you're not doing the thing where you make me where I just look like an idiot right now. So she is like refusing to believe anything other than what she heard. And she doesn't know body language, doesn't know. She's just like, what are you doing? Like, and even when they're on the dance floor and he like says that thing to her, like her first instinct is just like clam up and be like, oh, get the fuck away. Like, she's just like a mess. She's a mess. She's just a mess. And then, the whole thing with where she thinks like, okay, Dale came to a show. Oh crap, I don't want to say anymore, but she comes up with this plan that, to get him back or win him back, because she feels like she lost him, which she didn't. She doesn't know that. And she's trying to get him back, which is like, just like when I was writing that part where she's like, maybe she could dance her way back to, into his heart. Like, it kind of made me sad. Like it made me, it was like tear up. I was like, okay, that's good because I'm feeling emotion, but everybody else hated it. Whatever. But she thinks like she needs to climb this mountain of whatever, and she's like, yeah, he likes the ballet. I'm gonna just ballet myself in front of him, and then she mistakenly thinks, oh, he wasn't even there for her that entire time. That had nothing to do with her. Like that is horrible. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like that's horrible. And then the part even in the beginning when she's there and she's thinking, okay, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be optimistic about this. I'm going to just like get my Beyonce on and I'm going to have fun at this wedding. And then like the guy she gets there and like the three billionaires are like kikiing about how they talked about her on the plane on the way there and like said all this stuff like because Grayson's insane. She's like real, like that is not the thing that needs to happen to a person like that who is just takes forever to open up. It's like, bruh, that's awful. Like anybody, no. I'm just like, you guys, Maya is like, she's like a kitty cat, people. And that's like, actually, that's kind of like getting down to the root of, I think, what I was doing, which I didn't even know I was doing at the time. Let me read this review thing really quick, though. Okay. So for number one, this person that left me, shout out for the 2 stars. No one's left me a 1 star on Maya yet. They were like, okay, I'm gonna give you 2, but I don't really want to. So she gave me a 2 star. And so first of all, she read the second book first. I just can't even imagine the emotional turmoil that she put herself through reading the second book first. Don't read the second book first. Don't do that. Oh, Lord. So she read the second book first. So that was her first mistake. She probably, but this is what's amazing about it. The way this review, I can already tell, like if she read the first book, she would have quit in like 6 chapters. She wouldn't have read the whole first book. So she's like, I did this book. I'm not reading the other 2. And she just hated, the whole portrayal of everything and, white people, X, Y, and Z. And then, the other thing is like people feel like some of the racial issues are barely dealt with, which is kind of true, kind of not. It depends. Some people are like, I don't see where it had to be all that race stuff. Some people are like, you didn't go far enough, which to me is a good sign that I'm doing it right, probably. But here's what's kind of interesting and kind of great about her bad review. Of all of the people that reviewed it, who read the books in order, she seemed to be the only person that got what I was doing with Maya. Because she says, for those dismissing Maya's attitude, I assume you glossed over the book parts, speaking to what she endured in her craft. Any woman of color who starts with a social capital deficit, then chooses to swim upstream, knows the difficulty of that life. You don't come out of it happy-go-lucky. A little more attention to the background story would have aided many readers. And that's when I was like, really? Did I need more backstory? Like, I want to aid the readers. I don't want them unaided. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just started spiraling and I was like, backstory, like, I put in her parents, I put in her, like, her ballet training, I put in, like, do we need a grandma? Like, what? I'm like, what do people need that I and myself am not putting in? Because I spent a lot of freaking time on it, but I also don't have an editor. So literally just another pair of eyes. I wouldn't discount just a single other pair of eyes helping me, but it would have to be the right editor. And right now, I'm not in a place, first of all, I don't have the money, but secondly, I'm not in a place right now to trust another person can understand what I'm trying to do, like with the books, because I'm having hard enough time with the people who are reviewing it. So anyways, maybe a little bit later I can figure out like what I'm trying to do, so I can figure out what editor is trying to help me do that, instead of being like, well, it needs to be more marketable, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so she felt like, but she got it. She was like, Maya is not going to be happy go lucky. She's worked her entire life since she was 5 years old. She, she's dark skinned. She's a virgin. Like, she doesn't know how to do anything but live life, work hard, and like get things on her own merits. Like, she doesn't know about, feminine wiles or anything like that. I mean, she's just like, even if she wasn't who she was, she spent her whole life doing this ballet thing. Like, that's eaten up her entire life. So she, social stuff, all that stuff went by the wayside. So she's at a deficit, and like, so she's like kind of the only person that brought those things up and was really like, hey y'all, talk about her attitude. Like, don't you get, like, this is her, why would she be this happy go lucky person? So, which is interesting, because I honestly don't think she would have ever, if she had read the first book, she would not even be on the second book. But yeah, so I realized though, after I took some time and I was thinking about like doing this live stream and all that, and I was like, what am I missing with her? Like, what am I not putting in to the book to convey this person? But then I realized like what I was doing. And I literally didn't even know that this is like kind of the main theme of all the books, really, is not just having a Black heroine, but exploring this idea of the hesitation that, I won't say all Black women, I'll just speak for myself, what I've seen, what I've done, and what I've seen is this hesitation to show any vulnerability in any measure. It's like she does not want anybody seeing any of that. She doesn't want anybody seeing her vulnerability. And so all the women are basically on this spectrum, where Amara's kind of somewhere in the middle of that, because she's still, in the beginning, the whole driving force that gets her to where she's at is not really believing that Grace would have any interest in her. Like, she doesn't even want to put herself out there for that. And that drives that in itself creates the tension. And then you got Maya, who's kind of like on the more extreme part of the spectrum, who's like, I don't want you seeing my feelings. Don't ask me about, whatever. I'm not giving up anything. I don't know you. You don't know me. And then Kim, who's like way at the bottom, because she's an outgoing, gregarious person. She's warm. She's picking up friends, but she's got like almost none of that. So she is readily vulnerable, and it makes her relatable, and she understands that. So Maya doesn't understand that. She's like, I don't understand why anybody would love any of this. She's just like, even with sex, she's just like, this, I don't get this. I get ballet, that, like, whatever. Put in the hours, good stuff comes out. I get that. This is just weird. I'm just going to put this off because it's just, it's problematic. So, yeah, it's like, that's all it is. It's just this eschewing vulnerability that is, to me, even if it's not a major thing across time and space with Black women, I know, like, there's always somebody that's like, I'm not like that, I'm not like that, I'm not like that. But it's just something in my life journey that I have, I want to highlight it. A lot of people don't want to highlight that. I mean, because it's vulnerable, right? Like, it's like showing that you want to hide is vulnerable. So it's like it's even like a weird thing with me, because even though I've done that in my life, and I do that, I'm guarded in a lot of ways, and I know it is specific to Black women. Again, sorry, I don't mean to like lump everybody, but I I think it's tied with that, because it's like you never want to show that you don't know anything. You want to be just as competent as everybody else, blah blah blah. And it comes out, but it comes out unknowingly in like when you get to a relationship, and now it's just all coming out and you can't control it. So that's why I say I hope you're not tired of seeing this character. Or I hope you don't hate this character, because Maya is an archetype, and I'm going to keep trying to perfect her until I get it right. And I think, when I started reading romance, I started seeing, the white archetypes, which I'm totally fine with, and I'm down, whatever. Let's, read about white women and Asian women and Italian women or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I know what I want to write about. And this is going to like make some people mad probably, but this is what I think, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. This is what I think should be written about. This is what I think is going to drive a romance. This is what I think if there's a Black woman involved, this is what I think you're going to get. And, I want to portray the vulnerability and just the constant, like, really me, like just the doubt. And I just feel like all of that's tied together. Just like, yeah, you just want to use me. This like, what is it? It's like insecurity. That's not the word, but, I'm going to keep putting that in, because it's like, it's made such an impact on my life, but I feel like on a lot of women's lives. And there's something cathartic about it to me. And just to have a romantic interest that's like, I'm going to be here as long as you need me to be here. Like, that's what I want to read about over and over and over again. Like, that's the trope that I want to see and then create. And that's basically what Maya has with Dale. A lot of people, they're like pissed about that. They're like, I can't believe Dale puts up with her. It's like, yeah, he does, because he, on the other hand, is like a woo personality. So Maya's like in the corner looking like, she doesn't want to be bothered. And he's like, you're going to be happy. Come on. Like, he's like, that's his personality. So the fact that he can't do that, like he keeps coming at her, because he's like, I know there's something in there and I'm going to get it. Like, but it's also a romantic thing. And also for him, it's a exciting thing, because he's used to everybody just, oh, you're great, Dale, you're great. Because either they're paid, they just yes people, like, he's a billionaire. So everybody is just like in his, whatever, how influent people are, and like their challenges are not like regular people challenges. So literally my laptop's about to die. So I should just wrap this up just for that. But anyway, so I didn't even think consciously of how much I was doing that. But I was basically creating like my style, which is the Black woman who is just going to be Black, y'all. Like, it's not even that Black. Like these things out here that I'm seeing, these here covers of novels that I'm seeing, y'all got the nerve to be talking about me and how I write stuff. Come on now, y'all. So it's going to be that over and over and over again. It's like, I'm scared to be vulnerable, and the guy being like, of whatever color. But right now, we're just on the white dudes, because I'm on the white dudes right now. Actually, there's an Italian dude coming up, which I'm very excited about, if I can get this freaking story fixed. And the guy's just always being like, I'm here as long as you need me to be here. That's going to be it, y'all. That's what it is. Because that's love. And then also like hot things in between that, and push pull and all of that good stuff. So yeah, there's not going to be a lot of, for the people that feel like I didn't address the race issues enough. It's like, There's not going to be a lot of monologues and speeches. I can't believe people were saying that about Amara because, like, they literally had a whole. I mean, anytime you mention Frederick Douglass in a romance novel, like, give me some credit. Leave me alone. Do that. You do that. Let me see you do that. It's a dress, and you got to make it believable for all types of readers. Like, I get why you would want to write a heroine that just goes on a tirade and just everybody just sits and listens while this person goes on a tirade about about race and inequality. But, I want everybody, I don't want to alienate anybody with my soapbox catharsis characters and everybody just like slow clap. But I also, I don't like the idea of just pretending like it doesn't exist. In fact, I like using it as a point of tension. It's just another thing to keep the characters apart for 7 chapters. Like, come on, race, like let's use that, like, because it's real. Instead of sort of making it this like set them up, knock them down, like thing where you just get to say whatever, and the other character's like, tell me more about your plight as an African American. Anyway, obviously I've talked too long because now I'm just rambling about nonsense. But anyway, that was me sort of working out my doubts about my character. But I think it's okay. And even if it's not, I just got to learn to let it be and not try to make it perfect. I got to learn from the mistakes, learn from the reviews, learn about what people want, try to do it again, better again. I think she's great. Like, I think the reason why I don't want to go into that manuscript is because internally my brain is like, or my whatever, my creative whatever is like, listen, we're done. Move on. So, yeah, I'm just going to do that. And, but honestly, I would in the future, I think maybe not this next book coming up, but maybe the one after that, I'll be able to afford to get some editing done and do some research and really find somebody who's going to like dig what I do. Because that's really what I'm most worried about. I've already like wasted a little bit of money, to be honest with you, on some other stuff. But then I was like, I could have did that myself. But yeah, so I think once I get an editor, I'm really going to be like in the pocket, like I'm going to get it right. But yeah, okay, let me just wrap this up before the whole thing goes dark anyways. Thank you for your time, Facebook. No, literally, if you watch this whole thing, like, send me an email because you will officially be employed in some type of way by me because I cannot believe you sat through this whole thing. Yeah. All right. That concludes my Facebook Live thingy on Maya. And I guess the next one we might as well do Kim for the next one because y'all was hating on Kim too. You hated on Kim too. But it's my fault, really. I know these people trigger you, and I'm just writing them anyway. But they're triggered in different ways. See, it's diversity. It's diverse triggering. Okay, I'm done, y'all. Peace out. Yes, I do want to end this live video. Bye.